Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing equations and inequations, and we're going to solve some basic inequalities today, linear inequalities. Okay, so here are the rules you need to know in order to do that. To solve an inequality, you solve it just like a normal equation, with the exception that you must turn the sign around if you multiply or divide by a negative number, or you swap the sides around. Remember to keep writing the inequality sign as you go. Often people want to change their inequality sign into an equal sign. Okay, so when you see it, k minus 2 is less than 3, you want to treat that just like a normal equation, okay? With those exceptions of when you multiply or divide by a negative, or you swap the sides around. So, solve the following inequalities and sketch the solution on a number line. So, if this was a normal equation, to solve it, I would need to do the opposite thing to move sides. So, k minus 2, the opposite of minus 2 is to add 2 to both sides to cancel that off. That would leave me with k is less than 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, so this question says once we've solved it, we want to sketch the solution on a number line. To do that, get your ruler and rule a line probably about 5 centimeters long. Doesn't need to be accurate, mine's much bigger. But I like to have my numbers going to be in the middle, and I want a few numbers higher and a few numbers lower. So 5 is my solution, it's going to be in the middle. As you count up from 5, you have 6, 7, and you count down from 5, you have 4, 3. Put some arrows on your number line, because that means your number line can keep going forever if it needs to. Now we have a solution at k is less than 5. Now we use different types of dots depending on the inequality sign. If you have a less than or a greater than sign, I'll write it up here for you, less than or a greater than sign, it means it's not actually including the 5. It has to be less than it. It can't be 5, it has to be less than it. So we use an open circle at that point, because in my mind I say it's not exactly at the point, it has to be around the point, not exactly at it. So we have an open circle at that spot. If we have one of these other signs that is a less than or equal to, so it has the equal to sign on it, that means it could be exactly that number. It could be 5 because it could be equal to 5. So we colour that dot in because it could be at that spot. Okay, so for this question we have a less than sign. So I need to use an open circle at the 5. And then I want to draw an arrow to all the values that are less than 5. Well, 4 and 3 are less than 5. So anything this direction is going to be less than 5. And that is how we graph the solution. Let's do it all again for question 2. So a new equation here, 4h minus 1 is greater than or equal to 7. So let's treat it just like an equals to sign here. So I want to move the 4 and the 1 away from the h. So first of all the 1. The opposite is to add 1 to both sides. Gets rid of that. So that makes 4h is greater than 7 plus 1 is 8. Now to move the 4, that's 4 times h, so opposite is to divide by 4. That cancels the 4's off, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So my solution is h is greater than 2. Okay, to sketch that on a number line, get your ruler again, draw your line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little lines is about all you need. Whoops. put your solution, the 2 in this case, in the middle. Then you want to count up. 3, 4, getting bigger and getting small the other way. 1, 0, getting smaller. So this says h is greater than or equal to 2. So it could be equal to 2, which means we need to use the coloured in dot at the 2. And we need to draw an arrow pointing to all the numbers that are greater than 2. Well, 3 is greater than 2, 4 is greater than 2, and anything that way is greater than 2. And that's the solution. Question 3. Okay, I need to move the 10 away. Now the minus sign belongs with the y at the moment, so that is actually a positive 10. To move it, I will need to subtract 10. Okay, cross that off. So I have a negative y is less than or equal to 14 minus 10 is 4. Okay, but I can't have a minus sign here with my y. I need to get rid of it. So I could write a 1 here, so it's like a negative 1 times y. So I could divide by negative 1. That would get rid of it. Now remember the conditions over here that we talked about at the start. If you divide by a negative, you need to switch the sign around. So I have divided by a negative 1. So that means here on this next line, instead of writing a less than or equal to, I need to swap it to be a greater than or equal to. So the sign points the other way. And 4 divided by negative 1 is negative 4. Let's draw the solution on the number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little lines. Negative 4 is my solution in the middle. Counting up would be negative 3, negative 2, counting up. And down would be going more negative, negative 5, negative 6. So I have a greater than or equal to, so it could be equal to. So I need to colour in my dot. And it is a greater than minus 4. So we want it to be bigger than minus 4. We want this way, bigger than minus 4. Question 4. 6 minus 2m over 10 is less than 3. Alright, let's solve the inequation. First of all, I need to get rid of this 10 here. So that's divided, so I'm going to have to multiply by 10 to move that. Get rid of that. So 6 minus 2m is less than 3 times 10 is 30. Okay. Next we would move the 6. It's a positive 6, so I have to subtract it. Subtract 6. So that leaves me a negative 2m is less than 24. And now to get rid of the negative 2m here, I will need to divide by negative 2. So over negative 2 to both sides. And I have just divided by a negative. So on this next step, m, it needs to switch to be a greater than sign. 24 divided by negative 2 will make negative 12. Okay, now for the number line. So the solution in the middle, negative 12. Getting bigger would be negative 11, negative 10. Getting smaller, negative 13, negative 14. It has to be greater than, can't be equal to it. So I need an open circle this time. And greater than means must be getting bigger, so going that direction. Okay, let's turn the page. Okay, so here is some questions for you to have a practice on. Pause the video and start again once you've had a little go. So question 1, solve the inequality and sketch the solution on a number line. To solve the inequality, I have to move this 3, so I'll need to divide by 3. to both sides. Cancel that off. So W would be less than or equal to 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, that's a solution on the number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little lines. My solution 4 goes in the middle. Couple of numbers bigger, couple of numbers smaller. So less than or equal to could be equal to, so we need a colored in dot at the 4, and less than, so getting smaller, going that way. Okay, question 2, let's keep going. 5 minus 3m is greater than 2. So first number I will have to get rid of is this 5. I subtract the 5. Gets rid of this. So I have minus 3m is greater than 2 minus 5 is minus 3. Now to get rid of this minus 3, I have to divide by a negative number. Divide by negative 3. So as soon as you divide by negative 3, we need to switch the sign to be a less than. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is a positive 1. So, well, I didn't do my little lines on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 1 is in the middle, getting bigger. I have 2, 3, getting smaller, 0 and minus 1. A less than sign is not equal to, so I need to go around it, not colour it in. And less than, getting smaller, that way. Okay, question 3. 2 bracket 3x plus 1 close bracket is less than 2x minus 16. So first of all we'll need to expand out those brackets. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 1 is 2. Is less than 2x minus 16. Okay, now we actually have pronumerals on both sides. So our rule for that is that we move the smaller one. Well, 2x is the smaller one, so to move it, I'm going to subtract 2x. Get rid of that. 6x minus 2x is 4x, plus 2 is less than minus 16. Okay, now I need to move these two numbers here away from the x. First of all, the 2. So subtract 2. So 4x is less than 6 minus 16 minus another 2 is minus 18. And I will need to divide by 4. So that actually doesn't go evenly, as you probably noticed. So you might want to go minus 18 divided by 4 gives us minus 4.5 or minus 4.5. So on the number line you have a few choices with this. The more accurate option is to put your solution in the middle, so minus 4.5. But we can't just then go 5, 6, whatever up here. Then we would need to be counting up in halves. So I could go minus 4, minus 3.5, getting bigger, or getting small, be minus 5, minus 5.5. Okay, and then I would put an open circle at the minus 4.5, and less than means getting smaller, going that way. So that's one way you could do it. The alternative, you don't need to draw 2, but I just want to show you, is you could just put, say, negative 4 there, -5, -6. You could keep to your whole numbers. And -4.5 would be here in between. And you could make a little arrow and you go -4.5 is here. And draw it like that. Okay. Question 4. To solve the equation, first of all, multiply by the 5. Get rid of this. So -4 minus 2m. 2 times 5 is 10. Then I would need to add the 4. So minus 2m is greater than 10 plus 4 is 14. And then divide by -2. As soon as we're dividing by a negative, we know we need to switch the sign. So m is less than or equal to -7. And one more little number line down the bottom here. -7, -8, -9. Okay, I have an equal to sign on it, so it's a coloured in dot. Less than or equal to -7 is that way. Alright, that's it. That's it for today. Keep practicing and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.